Good morning, everybody. It's 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and we're going to talk a little bit about what happened 10 years ago from today. Hurricane Sandy tore a tour across parts of the Northeast, and even the ironic part of the storm is that it stretched so far to the west that we here in Cleveland, actually, that far west, got just winds almost of hurricane force. Truly a big storm. It's just the size of the storm was just enormous. Not so much the intensity of it when it made landfall, at least, because it was a category 3 in the ocean, but when it made landfall, it weakened a lot. I don't know if that was due to the dry air or the cold front coming through, because there's a cold front that came through at the time, which is what made it so unique because the trough kind of drew it to shore. But anyways, when it made landfall, it was not that strong. It was a Cat 1, but it was huge. So, and I'm not the person that advocates that Hurricane Sandy should be called Superstorm Sandy because it was simply a big storm and it impacted so many lives. I believe it should still be called Hurricane Sandy, not this Superstorm Sandy kind of agenda. But oh well, it is what it is. But anyways, we're going to take a look at what happened with the storm. So here's today would be today would be the 29th of 2022. So this was 10 years ago from today. So right now we're looking at the 28th of 2012, which is 10 years ago from today minus a date. So here we see the hurricane by excuse me, by 3 p.m., just right up along the shore. We see that cold front coming through. If you look at that upper right hand image, then by 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., it draws closer to the cold front, the big trough there. Then again, it's still offshore. So today is exactly 10 years ago from when it happened. So now we're going to look at the 29th, which was exactly 10 years ago from when it happened. It's 12 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m. So here's about where it made landfall. And right there, just a big, big storm. It almost reminds you of the blizzard of 1993, just the size of it. Although the blizzard of 1993, clearly, if you remember that, was bigger than this. But nevertheless, Superstorm Sandy, or I'm sorry, Hurricane Sandy, was one of the biggest storms to ever impact the East Coast. Um, there's just so much uniqueness about it. It wasn't the biggest. I mean, it wasn't the strongest, so to speak. It wasn't the heaviest rainfall, but there's just so many unique factors going into it, like this big trough here in Canada that just kind of sucked it in. You don't see this unique scenario on a map occur too often. So by 9 p.m. is when here in Cleveland we are just getting these brutal winds that just smashed Cleveland, Ohio. We're gonna take a look last but not least at the 30th, so the day before Halloween. This is where we here in Cleveland, Ohio, we're just getting assaulted with winds when it came ashore. Um, so here's a Tuesday, October 30th, and just tremendously tight isobars here. It just really caused havoc. And so to close off, we were without power for about 5 days with this storm, and it was a funny situation because our whole house, it had no power in it for 5 days, and it was cold. Like here, look at this. Let's look at the 31st. Um, we see this cold air start to set in eventually. It was actually during November 2nd, I believe, when the really cold air. Here we go. So we had a little backdoor cold front come November 2nd. So the cold air didn't funnel in immediately, but eventually it got really cold, and it was just a nostalgic situation that I'll never forget because um, we were at a lot of different places. We were at my grandmother's house for like a few days, and then we were at my stepdad's dad's house. So I guess my mom's father-in-law's house, and it was just, and then I was trying to get to college, in between these uh, intervals. So it was kind of a funny situation, but it was a bad storm, one to remember. I will keep all you guys in my prayers today that have been affected by Hurricane Sandy and the bad storm that has still left a lot of scars among many people and property loss, and unfortunately lives lost also, unfortunately. So but yeah, I just wanted to do a little quick update on that storm. It has been 10 years since Hurricane Sandy has hit, made landfall, and dissipated. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Make sure you like, comment. Well, you can't comment because YouTube restricted that for whatever reason they do for a lot of videos. And share and subscribe for much more long range weather content. Take care. Sayonara.